and today we're going to talk about the building Burj Khalifa with my group that is Valeria Torregrosa, Juan Diego Garcia, and Camilo Cardenas. So in this presentation, we're going to talk about the history and construction, design and architecture, safeness, and some facts. First of all, of the history and construction, we have to know that this building is located on Dubai and is considered the highest building in the world. It was designed by the architecture firm of Sigmund, Owens and Mary, having Adrian Smith as an architecture and F. Berger as an structural engineer. About the foundations, we can check that to start building that, they took deep and put the foundations with 182 concrete bars. And that the mat was constructed with 4 separate floors using 12,500 cubic meters of concrete. About to construct all the building, they used like 30,000 cubic meters of concrete. For the construction of the tower, it was developed a special concrete mix that it was found to a height of more than 600 meters. In November 2007, the highest reinforcements concrete core bars were made using a concrete pump from the ground level to a vertical height of 601 meters. The mix was able to reach these heights by running through a high pressure trailer mounted pump. The process of the cranking test outside started on May 2007 and it finished on June of 2009. For this, the team started putting other glasses and they built about 20 to 30 panels per day and eventually achieved as many as 175 panels per day. When they finished, they built close to 26,000 glass panels were used in the exterior and the tower.
An architecture about this global icon. So, who designed the Burj Khalifa? Well, the honor of design the Burj Khalifa was awarded by the leader in creating ultra-tall structures, and this business was the Chicago office of Skidmore, Orwings, and Merrill LLP by its acronym SUM with Adrian Smith. Adrian Smith, he is Adrian Smith. He was the main architect in the project. Also in the project worked William F. Baker. He was the chief structural engineer. So he was an important member within the project. Now we can saw in the image that the design was inspired by the flower. This flower is called Hymenocallis. So you can see here that the design is like a G-shaped structural system that try to replicate the desert flower. We found interesting the system of lights. So I'm going to show you a video. These LED lights can display all the colors and patterns. So it's really cool to see all the system working. I would like to add that it took over 22 million man-hours to construct the building. Now we found some characteristics. For example, in the exterior cladding or curtain wall is a combination of materials, for example, textured stainless steel, glass panels, and aluminum. The interior design of Burj Khalifa public areas was also done by the business that we saw in the last slide, but was led by the award-winning designer Nada Andrik. She is the mind of the interior design. I would like to say that this building is a masterpiece, but also say artworks into it. So, for example, over 1,000 pieces of art from prominent Middle Eastern and international artists adorn the Burj Khalifa. And finally, we can say that over 41 tunnel tests were conducted on Burj Khalifa to analyze the effects that the wine will have on the tower and its occupants. Here, it's important to see the setbacks. What is a setback? A setback is the difference between a floor and another. For example, you can see that this floor is smaller than this one. The Burj Khalifa has 27 setbacks. The function of a setbacks is that the vibration wind loading doesn't affect the structure of the tower. So it's not only important planning and engineering, it's also important a functional and an accurate design.
Okay, so in my part three, we're gonna talk about safeness. First of all, in the upper part of the Burj Khalifa, we can find a lightning road. So the idea of this lightning road is to attract the high amount of lightnings that are located around the building. So in the upper part, there's a detection system of lightning that is actually is like all isolated from all the electric system of the building because, well, if a lightning hits a lightning rod or any detection system, a lightning carries like high amount of voltage and amperes that can damage many systems like around the building. So that's why it's isolated. One of the most important things is that for this detection system, they need to change more or less every 3 months the battery. So there's a guy who has to climb up to the lightning rod and change the battery of the detection system. And okay, first of all, this detection system, the idea of this is to when it detects uh, thunderstorms around the building, this detection system carries all the lightning rod with positive ions to make that all the lightnings hits to the lightning rod. So that's the basic idea of the lightning rod in this Burj Khalifa. Also, when this lightning hits the lightning rod, the idea for isolate or to discharge all this charge that carries the lightning, well, the manufacturers create that the Burj Khalifa has a skeleton, a steel skeleton that protects all the things inside the building without like damage anything. Yes. So when a lightning hits to the lightning rod, then all these skeleton acts as a giant Faraday's cage. That it means that when electricity hits to this skeleton, it makes that all this charge it's gonna be discharged to the up to the ground like it was a cage. So that's one of the most important things of this lightning rod. Second of all, we're gonna talk about the fire protection system. That is one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. Because well, since I started to investigate about this topic, I saw that they had well, as it is a high building, most of the cases were fires like stars, uh, they cannot like act faster to these cases. So the there's a fireman elevator. Also, there are plenty of elevators that are totally protected to fire, and they can more or less maintain against the fire like for at least 2 hours. Um, First of all, so we're gonna have like primary fire water supplies that are located in the basement. Also, like in every single like floor, they can find like a water supplies where they can like store water, because as you know, if they had to pump all that water that are in the basement, so they cannot go in faster to, or they will need like a lot of energy to pump that amount of water. That's why they had located like in different levels, in different floors. There are located some storage of water. Also, one of the most important things about this is that they have floor smoke control. That it means that if there's a fire, people can go to the floor smoke controls that are like floors that are against of the fire. So if there is a smoke passing throughout or down a door, the smoke cannot enter because there's like a high pressure inside of the floor smoke, well, inside of the floor, where it cannot permit the smoke enter to the floor. Uh, Oh well, also we can say that are in some exhibitors there's the same control that is called, well, as we said on the floor, smoke control. So that's why they say it like pressurized. And finally, there are like, as I said, the fire resistance of the building is per column is the more or less 3 hours, and per floor is 2 hours. And also, as I said, there are some refuge areas that there is located that are located in levels 42, 75, 111, and 138, where people can go and refuge in that areas in if there's a fire problem or something like that. Also, there's a PA system where they can communicate with the people that are in the first floors, and they can like act faster than in other cases.
Okay, now I'm gonna talk about uses and facts of the Burj Khalifa. First of all, we have the observation deck. The Burj Khalifa has an observation deck placed on the 134th floor, and it is called at the top. It is not placed at the top of the building. As I said before, it is located on the 124th floor, but it is a place designed for visitors to enjoy an amazing view of the city, because you can see like the whole city if you are there. And also there are people that it is in charge of providing visitors the information about construction and history of the building. So this is like one of the most important thing that the building has, because it attracts very a very amount of visitors. So this is the observation deck. And here we have like the views that you can enjoy if you are there. So as I said before, you can see like almost the whole city there. Now we have the Armani Hotel. The building has 163 floors, and 37 of them are part of an hotel that is part of Armani's hotel. The rooms were designed by Giorgio Armani, so that's the reason of the name. And if you want to stay there, it will cost around one, no, not one, $800 almost. So it is kind of expensive. Okay, now we have the residential area and offices. There is another area of the building that is full of offices and very luxury households. Also, there are very expensive offices, and if you want to rent one of them, you will pay $680. Yes, around that amount of money. And yeah, that is so expensive. Yeah, so actually, nowadays there are many of those offices that are like alone. So there are many offices available today. And finally, we have this post that contains very interesting facts. And it says, for example, here, it says that the tower spurs can be visible from 60 miles away. Also, it says here that 22 million man-hours were spent building the structures. That is uh, many, not much time. And also here, as I said before, 160-room hotel were designed by Giorgio Armani. Also, here we have that there are 3,000 stairs from the bottom to the top. So there are many stairs, and the interesting thing is that also, like it is a building, it has to have an emergency system to go downstairs and upstairs. So that's the reason of it. Yes, it is all of these presentations. Thank you for watching it, and